Okay, welcome back. We are in Matthew chapter 16, unpacking some of these very amazing statements by Jesus that have application to all of us. Remember, we read last time in Matthew 16, verse 24, if anyone wishes to come after me. That's you, that's me, that's anyone, that's everyone. Here's what we must do. We all must deny ourselves and take up our cross. Taking up your cross is obviously, a metaphorical expression. We've already talked about this. It has to mean, at bare minimum, embracing the inevitable suffering that will come as a result of, you're making a decision to come after Jesus. It involves suffering. And then the second expression, whoever wishes to save his life will lose it. Whoever loses life for my sake will find it. Again, you could take that literally, but I think that within this context, we can look for a broader application than just a literal application, and we talked about that. And all of these phrases help to kind of modify one another. If we look at them as an entire package, it helps us to see what they all must mean individually. Because in verse number 26, and this is where we left off last time, for what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and forfeits his soul? Okay, so make that correspond with the verse right in front of it. Put it in two categories. Here's one man who gains the whole world and forfeits his soul. Here's one man who does not gain the whole world and who does not forfeit his soul. So how does that correspond with the previous metaphorical expression? Well, the person who saves his own life and ultimately loses it is the equivalent to the man who gains the whole world and forfeits his soul. And you can figure out the rest, of course. All right. So it illustrates a choice that we all have to make. Will I embrace the inevitable suffering that comes with Christ, and in so doing, find my life and not forfeit my soul? Although I do have to give up gaining the world. Right? You put it all together into one package and it begins to make a little bit more sense. And so Jesus is obviously encouraging us, you want to be the person who does take up your cross, deny yourself. Therefore, even though you will lose your own life, even though you won't gain the world, you will gain life and you will not forfeit your soul. Okay, so worth thinking about, pondering about these verses to let them sink in. These are salvation scriptures. When Jesus is talking about forfeiting or not forfeiting your soul, that's salvation. Who can deny that? No one. So let no viewer, do not let yourself be deceived that somehow these are deeper life verses that have no application to salvation, and they're just optional verses that you if you so desire, if you want to go deeper with the Lord. No. This is Christianity 101. This is the starting place. This is salvation. All right, now I want to hone in just for a moment on that phrase there in verse number 26. Jesus says you can either gain the world and forfeit your soul. There it is in verse 26. Let me read it again. What will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and forfeits his soul? And so that we understand more of what he means by the forfeiture or forfeiting, of one's soul, Jesus says, or what will a man give in exchange for his soul? And so he's talking literally here about losing your soul, forfeiting your soul. Because what would you ever give in exchange for that? Okay? It's not worth gaining the whole world. Even if you gain everything that this world has to offer, if as a result you forfeit your soul, you've made a bad business decision. Okay? Because what you gain in this world is only temporal. It can only last until you die. Your soul, there's the potential there of gaining eternal life and living forever. Okay? And so that's the greater prize. That's the more desirable thing to those who think about it and put them in the balances there. All right. Now, I want to point out to you that Jesus did not here warn against something other than forfeiting one's soul. That was the big negative, as opposed to gaining the whole world. What does it mean to forfeit your soul? Well, let's just take it for face value. If I was to forfeit these blueberry muffins here, I said, I'm afraid I'm going to forfeit them. You'd think, well, that means you're going to lose them and never have a chance to regain them. They would be lost as far as you, David, are concerned. From then on, you're forfeiting them. Right now, it looks like they're probably mine. I could probably eat them, okay? But if I forfeit, then that means probably I give them up. Somebody else eats them. I never benefit from those muffins there. So forfeiting your soul, I don't know. That's just one more verse that causes me to question the whole concept, which is so commonly believed, that the worst thing that happens to people is that they are tortured forever and ever eternally in the flames of hell. Okay? Because if Jesus wanted to convey that, why would he have, in this case, talked about forfeiting your soul? In another verse in Matthew, we've already read it in chapter 10, Jesus warned about God destroying both body and soul. Actually, he said it in the other order, destroying soul and body in hell. And so Jesus warned about the destruction of the soul, the forfeiture of the soul here. How could those two things describe never-ending, continual torment? Now, I know people object to that, and I love you, and I know there's verses that come to our minds and so forth that would contradict that and so forth. That's why it's important to look at everything the Bible has to say, not just lifting out the proof texts that prove what we believe. And there are lots and lots of scriptures, scores, hundreds that support what I've just conveyed, and what contradicts what I've just conveyed. There's just a handful of scriptures. I've written extensively about it. There's articles on our website. If you'll type in the word annihilation, for example, on the search engine at our Shepherd Serve website, you'll see it. Okay? Well, it's interesting stuff. I want to talk more about it with you. So I will see you next time.
HeavenWord 7 is made possible by the financial support of viewers like you. Thank you.